he very well could be an all-star in his first season. And there's been no shortage of executives who I really respect in the NBA who think he could be the best player at both ends of the floor by his third or fourth year.
Here we go again. Victor Wembanyama is quickly becoming one of the most hyped NBA prospects of all time, already having the entire San Antonio Spurs organization on his shoulders, and he hasn't even played a minute of NBA basketball. He's been called the greatest prospect in any sport ever, and is already being compared to Giannis, Jokic, and LeBron James. And don't worry, it gets worse. Wemby has already been photoshopped onto the basketball Mount Rushmore, next to LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant, with Chris Broussard saying that he has a GOAT ceiling. Stop this. Wembanyama does have the potential to be a phenomenal player, but we need to temper our expectations from him. Let's take some people expecting him to be an all-star in his first season, for example. Since 1985, only 10 rookies have ever played in an all-star game. These players are Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Dikembe Mutombo, Shaquille O'Neal, Grant Hill, Tim Duncan, Yao Ming, and most recently, Blake Griffin in his 2010-2011 rookie season. These are some of the greatest players to ever be in the NBA, all of them being in the Hall of Fame except for Blake Griffin, who actually has a good shot of making that too, with 6 All-Stars and 5 All-NBA selections. If making the All-Star team as a rookie is such a hard task that even greats like LeBron and Kobe couldn't do it, should we really expect that from Wembanyama? But let's go further. Back to the take that Wemby could have a GOAT ceiling. To be the greatest of all time, you need to win championships. On this list of NBA greats, only 5 out of 10 have even won a single championship in their career. There are many NBA legends that just will never win a ring. And the last #1 draft pick to actually win a championship is Andrew Wiggins, who was selected first in 2014, but he only won his first ring in 2022 with the Warriors, where, to be honest, he was a great complementary piece to Steph, but he was just not that main guy. Wiggins is a very good NBA player, but the expectations and hype put around #1 draft picks almost never match what the player actually produces in the NBA. And there are only 2 #1 draft picks in recent memory that have had a degree of expectations that Wembanyama faces: Ben Simmons and Zion Williamson. When Simmons and Zion were both coming into the league, there was a buzz that they could be the next LeBron James, that this freak of nature athlete will single-handedly change the franchise that drafts them. Could they be replacing the king at the top of the league? No. The only thing that they're replacing is the cushion at the end of the bench, because they do not play in basketball games. In the last 3 seasons, Ben Simmons has played just 42, 58, and 57 games, while also forgetting how to shoot a basketball next to the rim, and never developing a jump shot, even though there is magically an off-season video of him hitting a 3 every single year. And Zion is only worse. In his first 4 seasons in the league, he has played 24, 61, 0, and 29 games for a total of 114 out of the 328 games within 4 years. And by the way, he signed a contract extension last summer for 5 years and $197 million guaranteed, and he's only played over 30 games in an NBA season once. And no hate to these players, both Ben Simmons and Zion have had great moments. Ben Simmons has been an all-star. Ben Simmons has been great defensively. Zion Williamson has looked like an unstoppable force on offense. And the Pelicans were actually the #1 seed before he got injured, but both of them just have not lived up to the hype, pressure, and expectations that a #1 draft pick comes with. And with Wembanyama, the hype seems to be about 10 times louder. So what should we really expect from him? At 7'5", Wemby immediately becomes the tallest active player in the NBA, even an inch taller than Boban. Historically, the tallest NBA players have a bad track record of staying healthy. There have only been 16 players since 2000 that have played in the NBA and were over 7'2". And for the few that did play in the NBA, you wouldn't be able to find one who hasn't had their career plagued by injury. And for many of them, their careers cut very short because of injury as well. Players like Yao Ming and Manute Bol had the potential to be some of the greatest ever, but their bodies ultimately fell apart. It seems that there is just a certain height limit that makes staying healthy near impossible. Even last summer, Oklahoma City's #2 draft pick, Chet Holmgren, didn't even make it onto an NBA floor before getting injured for the entire season while playing in a Pro-Am game. But just because injury has happened to many other tall NBA players doesn't mean it's going to happen to Wembanyama. Wemby played all 34 games on the Metropolitans last season, and he's had a personal trainer since the age of 15 so he could avoid injury. Together, they have developed a long pregame routine which includes juggling tennis balls, warming up his fast twitch muscles and hand-eye coordination, and next they move on to a key area, his feet. With a 20.5 shoe size, Wembanyama is extremely careful to take care of his feet, as they're the most likely area on his body that could get injured with the 82-game NBA season. Taking off his shoes and his socks, Wemby crawls on his fingertips and toes across the hardwood, and after that, he puts bands around each one of his big toes and stretches them to create resistance. It may seem odd, but any measures to prevent a historically very likely injury to a 7'5" player is a smart move. LeBron spends millions of dollars on his body every single year, and he's had the longest prime in NBA history, so taking care of your body, especially as a big man, is key. So it seems that Wemby is doing everything right to stay healthy and earn his respect in the NBA. Whether he's a prodigy, perennial all-star, bench player, or bust, I'm tired of all this talk. Let's give the kid a chance to prove himself and enjoy being there for the start of something that might be very special.